guys, this is Coach KP, and today I'm going to answer a specific question: how to make more money working for other people. Okay, so this is an advice that's strictly geared towards people that want to make more money, whether it's through promotion or a salary increase, or jumping to a different job or a different department. Okay, that sort of a thing, working for somebody, not necessarily for yourself. Okay, so take this in that context. So the first thing that comes to my mind, having seen so many people's careers evolve, being a mentor to friends and family, and also professionally, I have seen that a lot of times people do not necessarily know what to do to make more money, and it gets them stuck in this cycle where they're not making money or as much money as they want, and then they look at their superiors or people that's supposed to be paying them with resentment, and it kind of goes on that spiral. People either get stuck at a role for a long time and don't necessarily know how to move on or when to move on even, and then there's people that aren't able to articulate their careers, and this is something that we're going to talk about today. So let's get started, right? So how do you know, first of all, that this is a job that's going to be good for you, good for your soul in the long run? And I'm not talking about, good for your soul necessarily even in a spiritual way, but how are you going to know that this is what you want to do for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of your life? Because when you devote that kind of time into something, it has to somehow be beneficial for you as well. So, if you're particularly not skilled at a lot of things, maybe, working at a warehouse has been your thing, and, you just go there and stock the shelf. I'm just giving an example, right? There's so many ways to look at that particular instance of a job. Even though the salary there may be minimum wage, if you are a strategic thinker, you would actually start thinking about the supply chain and not just stocking the shelf every day. Okay, so you want to pull yourself out and look at your career from a high-level perspective, other than the salary, other than the money that you're making. Okay, so if you're making minimum wage and you're gaining a ton of knowledge working in that space, that goes on true for startups as well. Maybe you're starting at a $60,000, whereas your friends have started at a $90,000 a year, but maybe at a startup you're gaining a broad spectrum of knowledge that's going to help you down the line. So it's not always about the salary, it's not always about the money. Okay, so that's one thing that I wanted to get straight. That was my first point. The second point is, how is your relationship with your boss, with your manager, with your supervisor, with the owner of this place? Okay, a lot of times, charismatic people that are in a job, want to think of this as a competition with their boss. Like, oh, I know 10 different ways that are better than what he's doing right now. He's not doing his job right. I can do this better. Okay, so there could be this competition with your boss. How much of that do you have going on, and how are you showing up in that relationship with your boss? There is a reason why this person is your supervisor, manager, owner, and you are working for them right now, whether it's by choice or by necessity. Okay, so let's keep that in mind when we are working with people. And also the same, if you're in a supervisory role, the people that are working for you aren't working for you personally, they're working for the job. So if they have a better idea, how do you approach that? How do you integrate these relationships? Okay, so especially the relationship with your boss, since we're talking about getting more money working for other people. How is that relationship? Are you open and vulnerable with them? Are you able to say to your boss that, hey, can we reconsider this thing that we've been doing, and I think there's an optimal way to do it, but we haven't been doing it, so would you be open to my response? Okay, and this means even if you've been shut down numerous times in the past. That's the key. working relationship, your boss is there for a reason, whether he's a competent boss or not. We're not even talking about that. Your boss is there for a reason. If he's shutting down some of your ideas, if he has shut down some of your ideas before, doesn't mean you should stop. That's where resilience, that's where vulnerability comes to practice. And if you've gotten to a point where you are so sick and tired of your ideas not being heard at this job, that's not a salary discussion at that point. Getting more money in that job is only going to make you more miserable. So you're better off getting out. That's your clue to the first question. Is this feeding your soul? Have you gone to your boss with an open heart many times and got shut down? And you're just literally working at this job right now for a paycheck? Find an exit strategy. That's not a salary conversation at that point. And it's not, doesn't do any good for any one of us to blame our seniors, supervisors, owners of the company, whatever the case may be. They're there, chances are they are going to last longer in that job than you are if you've been feeling really miserable about your. Having said those two things, how about adding value? Are you actually adding value in your role, or are you just doing your job? Because anyone can come in, and I'm going to keep going back to the stocking the shelf example because that's what's coming to my mind right now. And it could be applied to many different things. You could be a computer programmer, right? So you could be a Java developer, go into your job, develop this code, deploy it, develop the code, deploy it, talk to your coworkers, hang out, go home, do your job, go home. That's now, you may be doing a fantastic job at writing the code, but for your supervisor to look at it as a salary bump is going to be very difficult at that point because you're coming in, doing your job, and going home. The value add there would be when you actually go to stock the shelf and you see the bigger picture. You go to write the code, you see the bigger picture. What are our customers wanting? You go chat with the customer for 5 minutes and you may come up with an idea that's going to help this customer directly in the ways that your manager didn't even think about. And you bring that idea maybe into a PowerPoint presentation or a whiteboarding session with your manager, okay? I would be highly skeptical because some people have said that, oh, my manager's totally shut down, they don't want to hear it. If you're presenting the material in the way that your manager, supervisor, owner, founder of this company does resonate with sometimes, because not everybody likes PowerPoint, not everybody likes whiteboarding systems. So it's up to you. If you were looking for a more salary, more satisfaction in your job, it's up to you to figure out how your superiors, I hate to use that word, how your supervisors and the people that you're working with and your peer group, how do they resonate with messages, okay? How do you give them the message in a way that's consumable for them? That's very important. You may have a great idea, doesn't mean much. And that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people because there's a lot of, identity and ego involved in that, and it happens to the best of us at many levels. But, the smarter idea for career growth and for more salary would be to make material, advice, suggestions outside of your daily role, which is going to help drive business in a way that's consumable for the audience. Okay, if you're not being consumable, it's really no point. Another point that I would like to bring up is customer centricity. In any job that we do these days, the customer is not just the focus, they should be in the center, in the middle of decision making. Sometimes you may be in a really good position to influence that, okay? And it ties back to my point earlier about how do you present this information. So let's say you collected some feedback from the customers. Now you package this feedback in terms of actionable items and you present it to your people, okay? Whatever that audience is, you present it to them. Chances are 9 out of 10 times they won't even look at it. No one has time for that, because everybody's plates is full, okay? And that's okay. You go on about your business, continue making progress in your job, and if you have ideas, document them. Chances are, if they're not hearing you out at this point, maybe somebody else will, or maybe this will be a crucial situation for you when you start your own business. Now, all these ideas that you had about customer centricity can be applied in this role, and all of a sudden you have saved yourself a whole lot of hassle, and your minimum viable product, so to speak, is going to be better than when you didn't have those ideas that you collected at a job that paid you to collect those ideas and didn't listen to you, okay? So think of your salary situation, I would say, from many different angles, okay? What are you learning at the job? How is your relationship with your boss? How's your relationship with your peers? How's your relationship with your subordinates? And the one last thing that I would like to say about making more money is, are you helping other people make more money? At any given instance in your career, at any level, there is an opportunity for you to educate other people. And it could sometimes be downstream, other times it could be upstream. Are you leveraging these opportunities to mentor people, to make their lives easier? You know, to tell them stories about what you have gone through and what has helped you. Because, you know, karma has a strange way of working. And if you are there helping other people, they will think of you when there's an opportunity that appears to them that may actually benefit you. If you are coming from a genuine perspective, that is, okay? And all of what I've said today, it has to be done in a genuine way. You will have a very hard time connecting with anyone, first of all, if you're not coming from a perspective where you really actually want to help, versus, I heard this in a video or read it somewhere and I need to operate this way to get ahead. That's a short-term strategy, okay? You may get someplace by pushing too hard, by using strategies and techniques, but ultimately, if you want longevity in the game, you have to practice these things over and over and over again. And you know what? Chances are you will know that this job wasn't right for you to begin with. And then you find something that aligns more with who you are as a person, and it's a win-win situation for all of us, okay? So I hope that made sense to you. Continue making more money, continue making an impact in this world. I'll see you soon, Coach KP. Peace.